So our contractor quoted us $23,000 for custom stained white oak wood accents throughout the build. $23,000. For wood that we were going to stain. A specific color. That I already knew. I looked at my partner. She looked at me. We both looked at the quote. And then I went and bought $340 worth of stained samples and spent a Saturday figuring it out ourselves. We saved $15,000. And honestly, the result is better than what the contractor was going to give us. Here's everything we did. Including the part where I almost ruined it completely. If you're building a barndominium or any custom home in 2026 and you're trying to get a high-end Japandi aesthetic without a high-end Japandi budget, subscribe to Barndominium Haven right now. Hit the bell. We document real builds, real costs, and the actual decisions that saved us real money. Not the sanitized version where everything goes perfectly. Stay till the end because I'm going to show you the exact stain formula we used. The proportions, the brands, the application sequence. Everything you need to replicate this yourself. Let's go. Okay, first, let's make sure we're talking about the same thing. Because Japandi gets thrown around a lot and half the time people mean something different. Japandi is the design fusion of Japanese minimalism and Scandinavian functionality. And before you say that sounds like an Instagram trend, hear me out. Because when it's done right, genuinely right, not the watered-down Pinterest version. It's one of the most livable interior aesthetics I've ever designed around. Here's what it actually means in practice. Natural materials. Honest surfaces. Nothing decorative that doesn't earn its place. Warm neutrals, not gray, not beige, warm. The color of aged linen, of natural beeswax, of wood that's been in the sun for a long time. And wood. Everywhere. But quiet wood. Not golden oak. Not mahogany. Not anything that announces itself. Wood that you notice when you stop looking. A ceiling beam, a floating shelf, a kitchen island face. That pulls the whole room together without asking you to look at it. That's what we were going for. That's what the contractor wanted $23,000 to give us. Here's the thing about custom staining. It's not the material that costs the money. It's the labor. And specifically, it's the skilled labor of someone who can hit a very specific color consistently across a lot of different surfaces in a lot of different light conditions. Our Japandi spec called for a warm grayish, that's gray beige, on raw white oak. But not just any grayish. A grayish that reads warm in morning light, slightly cooler in afternoon light, and almost golden in the evening with the barndominium's warm artificial lighting. That color responsiveness, the way a wood stain shifts with the light, is what separates a Japandi interior that feels designed from one that just feels gray. Hitting that requires test panels, adjustment, more test panels, client approval, and the labor of someone who's mixed custom stains long enough to know what they're doing. That's where the $23,000 went. And I'm not saying the contractor was ripping us off. That's actually fair pricing for what was being asked. I just knew I could do it for less. I want to be honest here. I'm a designer. I've worked with wood stains for years. I know what I'm doing with a brush and a rag. If you've never stained wood before, don't start with your entire kitchen island. Start with a test piece. Start with a back room. Start with something where a mistake costs you a Sunday afternoon and not a $4,000 panel. That said, the actual skill level required for what we did is genuinely accessible if you're patient and you do the prep work correctly. And I mean the prep work is 80% of the result. We're going to get to that. But the decision came down to this. I knew the formula I was trying to hit. I had the surfaces prepped. I had the time. And $15,000 was a real and meaningful number for us at that point in the build. So we did it. And here's exactly what we did. Okay, this is the part you actually came for. After about 40 test panels, and I'm not exaggerating, it was 40 panels. We landed on this formula. Base coat, Rubio Monocoat Pure. 1 coat. Let it cure for 24 hours. Rubio Monocoat is my personal favorite for natural wood finishing, and I will die on that hill. It penetrates the grain rather than sitting on top of it, so the wood still breathes, still feels like wood, doesn't look like it's been sealed in plastic. 2nd coat, this is where the color comes from. Rubio Monocoat Color Pure in smoke. But not full strength. We mixed it at approximately 30% smoke to 70% pure. That gave us the grayish without going so gray that it lost the warmth of the white oak underneath. The key is the oak. White oak has a natural undertone that reads warm, almost amber in the raw. And the diluted smoke stain lets that undertone come through the gray, so the finished surface has depth. That's the difference between a Japandi stain and a gray stain. One has depth. One just looks gray. We added a final coat, Rubio Monocoat Universal Soap applied monthly, to maintain the surface without adding any color shift. Total material cost for the formula, approximately $340 for the volume we needed across all our surfaces. Alright, application. This is where most DIY stain projects go wrong. And I know this because I've watched it go wrong on other people's projects, and I've watched it almost go wrong on mine. Step 1, sand the white oak to 150 grit. Not 120. Not 180. 150. At 120, the grain is too open and the stain soaks in unevenly. At 180, the grain is too closed and the stain sits on the surface instead of penetrating. 150 is the number. Don't argue with me on this. Step 2, wipe the surface clean with a tack cloth. Then a second pass with a slightly damp clean white rag. Then let it fully dry. Any dust on the surface when the stain goes on becomes a permanent part of the finish. Step 3, apply the Rubio Pure with a white Scotch-Brite pad in the direction of the grain. Work it in. Don't rush it. Let it sit for 3 minutes, not 5, not 2, 3 minutes. Then wipe off the excess with a clean lint-free cloth. Completely off. Rubio Monocoat is a oil-based reactive finish. If you leave excess on the surface, it doesn't dry. It stays tacky. It collects dust. It looks terrible. Wipe it all off. 24-hour cure. Step 4, apply the smoke mixture with the same method. Same pad. Same direction. Same 3-minute wait. Same complete removal. And then, you let it cure for 72 hours before you put anything on it. I know 72 hours feels like a long time when you're in the middle of a build. It's not as long as refinishing a surface because you rushed it. Okay, I have to tell you about my favorite thing that came out of this project. Because it genuinely surprised me. We applied the formula to the ceiling beams in the main living area. These are exposed steel beams with white oak wrapping, so the oak is a veneer applied over the structural steel. And I was genuinely nervous about how the stain would read at ceiling height with the light hitting it from below. The result is extraordinary. In the morning, the beams are warm grayish. Almost sandy. In the afternoon, they cool down. The gray comes forward. The room feels more calm. In the evening, with our warm Edison-style LEDs running along the beam underside, the oak glows. Actually glows. The stain pulls all the amber undertones out of the wood and the beams look almost like they're lit from within. It's the single most architecturally successful element in the entire interior. And it cost us about $80 in materials. I love that. I genuinely love that. Alright. The mistake. Because I promised you I'd include it, and here it is. We did the kitchen island face on a Thursday afternoon. The prep was right. The formula was right. The application was right. And then, Because it was the end of a long day and I was tired. I forgot to remove the excess. Not completely forgot. I just didn't get it all. There was a section about 8 inches wide in the middle of the island face where I left probably 30% of the excess on the surface. I caught it Saturday morning. By Saturday morning the stain had been on there for about 40 hours. It was tacky. Slightly darker than the rest. And it had collected 2 days' worth of construction dust. I will not describe what I said at that moment. Here's what saved us. Rubio Monocoat can be removed with their own surface care spray within the first 7 to 10 days of application. I sprayed the affected area, worked it with a clean Scotch-Brite pad, wiped it completely off. And then reapplied from scratch. Matching the original application so closely that you genuinely cannot tell where the correction is. If I had used a different stain, an oil-based penetrating stain, a water-based stain, anything that cures permanently, I would have been sanding back a finished panel and starting over. The forgiving nature of Rubio Monocoat saved us what would have been a 2-day correction process and probably $800 in material and labor. Use Rubio Monocoat. Remove the excess completely. And for goodness sake, don't stain at the end of a long day. Let me give you the actual breakdown so this is genuinely useful. Contractor quote for custom stained white oak accents throughout the barndominium, ceilings beams, kitchen island face, floating shelves, bathroom vanity faces, and entry feature wall. $23,400. Our actual cost. Rubio Monocoat Pure, 2.5L, $89 Rubio Monocoat Color Pure Smoke, 2.5L, $94 Surface Care Spray, 1L, $28 White Scotch-Brite Pads, 2 packs, $18 Lint-Free Cloths, 2 packs, $24 150 Grit Sandpaper, Bulk Pack, $32 Tack Cloths, $12 Test Panels, Raw White Oak Offcuts, $43. Total material cost, $340. Labor cost, my time and my partner's time, for weekends, roughly 30 hours total. If we value that time at a reasonable DIY rate, let's say $30 an hour, that's $900 in time. Total actual cost, $1,240. Saving versus contractor quote, $22,160. Not $15,000. More than $15,000. I said $15,000 in the title because I wanted to be conservative, and because some of that saving went back into upgrading the oak specification to a thicker profile than we originally planned. The net saving after the oak upgrade, approximately $15,000. That number is real. And it's sitting in our contingency fund right now. Yes. Immediately. Without hesitation. But with one condition. I would only do it again because I knew the formula before I started. The 40 test panels weren't optional. They were the project. The application wasn't a shortcut. It was a weekend. If you go into DIY staining expecting it to be fast, you're going to rush it. And rushed staining looks rushed. Go in expecting it to be slow, methodical, and deeply satisfying when the result is exactly what you were trying to achieve. And it will be one of the best decisions you make on your build. Here's what I want you to take from this. The gap between a $23,000 contractor quote and a $1,240 DIY result is not a gap in quality. It's a gap in knowledge and time. The contractor was charging for expertise they'd spent years developing. We spent 4 weekends developing enough of that expertise for our specific project. And the result is something I'm genuinely proud of every time I walk into that living room and look up at those beams. That's the whole thing. Know your formula. Prep correctly. Don't rush. Use Rubio Monocoat. Remove the excess. And keep that $15,000 for something the contractor quote didn't cover. Subscribe to Barndominium Haven. Drop your stain questions in the comments, I will answer them. And I'll see you in the next one.